To make this Oreo buttercream, we're going to need a tablespoon and a teaspoon. Also grab your favorite spatula. And I'm going to use the whisk attachment and the paddle attachment for my standing mixer, but if you just want to use the paddle, that's fine. So here's my mixer, and we're also going to need a food processor to crush up the Oreos. Now let's get started with 4 sticks of unsalted butter. If you have salted butter, it's not really a big deal. We're going to add some salt to the recipe, so if you're using salted butter to start, we'll just add a little bit less salt later. Now let's pop the butter in the microwave to soften it up a little bit. I did it for a little too long. I'm sorry, guys. This is not what it should look like. It shouldn't be this liquidy, but I'm just going to work with it anyway for the sake of making this tutorial. Add the butter to your standing mixer, and I'm going to use the whisk attachment to whip it up. And this is just a little tip. The more you whip butter, if you're making frosting, the more white it's going to be. I always start on the slowest setting and then work my way up as it starts to mix together. Once you get to the highest speed, I would leave it there for about a minute to whip. Now we can add some vanilla. I use clear vanilla because it won't change the color of the frosting, and we're going to do 4 teaspoons. And a little bit of salt, but remember, if you used salted butter, don't do quite as much here. And then let's whip it up for another minute. And always stop to scrape down the sides of the bowl as you go, just to make sure you get everything. Once we're finished with that, we can change over to the paddle attachment, and we're going to add the powdered sugar. This recipe will use about 7 cups of powdered sugar, and I know that sounds like a lot, but just trust me on this one. So let's just do 3 at a time for now. So here is 3 cups of sugar. Start mixing on the lowest speed so that it doesn't make a big, cloud of sugar everywhere. And then work your way up until it's mixed. And once it's mixed like this, add 3 more cups of sugar. I actually should have done 4 here, but I forgot. Not a big deal. I'll add the other cup later in the video. I always highly recommend using heavy whipping cream for the liquid in the buttercream, but you can also use a milk. 2 tablespoons here. And now let's do the Oreos. I started with 10 of them, and when I put them in the processor, I ran it as long as I could to basically turn these things into a powder. I want to be able to pipe with this buttercream. I want it to be smooth. Some people do prefer it to be sort of chunks or larger crumbs of Oreo, but I wanted it to be smooth. So then I added it to the buttercream, and we're going to just mix it on low to get it all incorporated. And here's the extra cup of sugar that I should have put in earlier. And now at this point in the recipe, it sort of turns into a preference thing. So you can add more cream as needed until the frosting is a texture that you feel comfortable working with. And I actually went and added another 10 Oreos. So this recipe has tons of Oreos. I've done ones before that I found online with half as many, but I am telling you, this recipe tastes like you are eating an Oreo. And you'll see that there was a few times I added more cream just to get the right texture that I wanted. Always finish off by mixing on low for a few minutes just to get out the air bubbles. And now, here we have it. So another tip too, I found that the Oreo frosting was so much better the next day after it sat wrapped up airtight at room temperature because the crumbs absorbed some of the moisture, so it became soft and it was a nice smooth bite. But I wanted to show you guys the color because some people told me that it's ugly and it looks like cement. But there you go. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Thank you.